Hi, I'm Brianna.
And I'm Akira.
And you're watching
Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, guys, Errol Spence continues to put pressure on Kell Brook. It's only a couple days away. I guess it's only 2 days away before we get the announcement that Kell Brook will most likely officially surrender his belt and hand it over to Errol Spence. But Errol Spence is not tripping because he just sent a direct message to Kell Brook. He sent a hashtag fight or vacate. Matter of fact, let me go and read exactly what he tweeted or what he sent out towards Kell Brook. The wait is almost over. I'm at the neck and ain't no letting up. TBT. Don't let a smile before the fight fool you. Hashtag man down. Hashtag strap season. Purse bid next Tuesday. Fight news soon. End quote. You know what they say? Pressure busts pipes. Or at least in this case, pressure makes you vacate your belt, because that's most likely what's going to happen. It already looks like, according to Kell Brook, what he just recently said during the Chris Bank broadcast, he did an interview and he basically said, there's talks of me possibly fighting Spence. There's talks of me possibly fighting Miguel Cotto. Once he throws in other names outside of Spence, that obviously means he's looking for any other opponent that he believes that he can beat. So clearly, when you're looking for the easiest opponent, it makes a lot more sense logically to go after an older guy who's past his prime, close to the end of his career, like Miguel Cotto, or someone like Amir Khan, who just got knocked out recently, as opposed to facing one of the most dangerous, one of the most feared fighters in the sport of boxing, which is the truth, Errol Spence. But you know what? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if Errol Spence gets this opportunity to fight for the title or not against Kell Brook, because no matter what Kell Brook does, it's going to be looked at as he forfeited his belt. And in some ways, it's still a win for Errol Spence. So if he wants to surrender and hand his belt over to Errol Spence, it's a win for Errol Spence regardless. Okay? Kell Brook, he can only go so far before he's forced to face tough competition. Even if he moves up to 154, yeah, you may get an easier touch like Miguel Cotto, but then eventually you have the real fighters at 154, like Demetrius Andrade and the Charlo brothers, Edislandi Lara. Even Julian Williams is still a major threat to someone like Kell Brook. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kell Brook, he just jumps up and down to avoid the toughest competition. He may come back down and look for an easier opponent at the welterweight division. But I'm telling you guys right now, if Kell Brook doesn't fight Errol Spence, or he doesn't agree to fight Errol Spence next week, he will never fight Errol Spence. And if he won't fight Errol Spence before Errol Spence goes out there and starts beating all the other welterweights, why would he fight him later on when he's even more of a threat and he's more proven than he is already right now? So let's see how long Kell Brook can run from tough competition. You can only fight so many Amir Khans, Kevin Bizers, and Miguel Cottos. Eventually, you're going to be forced to face tough competition. Now, one more time, when it comes to the Gennady Golovkin situation, that was a win-win situation for Kell Brook. He had nothing to lose in that fight. He was already expected to lose going into the fight, and he was going to get his biggest payday. So once again, if he loses, he could easily say, hey man, I moved up 2 weight classes and lost to a middleweight, and the best middleweight in the world, right? But if he loses to Errol Spence, he can't use that excuse. Even if he loses to a Demetrius Andrade or someone at the junior middleweight division, he cannot use those same excuses. And Kell Brook completely understands this. So let's see how this announcement plays out next week. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.